I think we're good. Council President, before we start the meeting, and for the people that are here in the council chambers, this is a little bit of an unusual proceedings tonight. The council and mayor have been exposed to somebody with COVID, and because of that, in an abundance of caution, they're not here in person, and they will be here live through Zoom. This meeting is conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, which permits the council to participate electronically. It's been a kind of a standard practice under the Open Public Meetings Act for, back into the 70s. In fact, the law specifically allows meetings to be conducted electronically. So I just, the meeting, at least for the public, will proceed as normal, other than the fact that you'll be looking at the council on a television screen. It'll still all be on YouTube. Everything will be heard and will proceed accordingly. Council Vice President Telly will be the presiding officer tonight, and I'll turn the meeting now over to her.
Thank you. Is it all right, Heather, the light off?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening and welcome. The May 11th, 2022 meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Please roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
Mr. Vieira?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes?
Here.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
And Dr. Vogt is absent.
Please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America
And
and
to
to the republic
for which is
for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty,
liberty and justice
for all. Thank you. I will now read the mission statement of the City Council. The Long Branch Mayor, City Council, and administration are committed to cultivating an environment of mutual trust and respect that values the diversity of our community. We will strive to enhance the quality of life for all who live here by making Long Branch a desirable place in which to live and prosper. We will treat all members of the public with respect and the same in return.
Okay, I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. Tonight, we have a presentation concerning the Jewish American Heritage Month. The young man, is he here?
Yes.
Would he come to the podium, please? I can't see. Is he there?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a young man who volunteered to read tonight's resolution. His name is Jack Saban. He is 12 years old and he attends Hillel Shavia in Ocean Township. Jack is currently in the 7th grade, and Jack moved to Long Branch from Brooklyn 5 years ago. Jack, we're happy to have you, and go right ahead, please.
Whereas for thousands of years, the Jewish people have sustained their identity and traditions, preserving in the face of persecution. And whereas through generations of enslavement and years of wandering through forced segregation and the horrors of the Holocaust, they have maintained their holy covenant and lived according to the Torah. Whereas the Jewish people's pursuit of freedom brought multitudes into our shores, and today our country and city is the proud home to millions of Jewish Americans. This month, let us honor their independence, tremendous contributions as scientists and artists, as activists and entrepreneurs. And whereas we cannot pay proper respect to the legacy of Jewish Americans without also reflecting on the rise of anti-Semitism in many parts of the world, and in remembering the lessons of the Holocaust, we recognize the imperative need to root out prejudice. Whereas, let all of us find inspiration in a story that speaks to the universal human experience with all of its suffering and all of its salvation. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Long Branch that in May we pay tribute to their indelible contributions. We recommit to ridding our world of bigotry and injustice and reflect on the extraordinary ways in which Jewish Americans have made our country and city more perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
You did an outstanding job, and thank you for being with us. And most of all, thank you for volunteering. And we will continue with the council meeting. Reading and approval of previous minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of April 27th, 2022.
So move.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
And Dr. Vogt is absent.
Okay, we will continue with the consideration of ordinances, public hearing, and final consideration. Ordinance 10-22, an ordinance amending section 247 3B of the Code of the City of Long Branch to permit dogs in Jackson Woods Park. This ordinance was introduced on April 27, 2022, and permits dogs in Jackson Woods Park. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any member, excuse me, any member of the public who has any comments to make, please come to the podium, state your name and address clearly for the record, and you will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. Anyone wish to speak on this ordinance?
No one has come forward.
Okay, I need a motion to close.
Motion to close. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
This is the second reading of ordinance 10-22, entitled an ordinance amending section 247 3B of the Code of the City of Long Branch to permit dogs in Jackson Woods Park. I need a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law. Motion.
So moved. So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
And Dr. Vogt is absent.
Okay, there are no ordinances for introduction, and so we will go right to the public participation for resolutions and all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? No. If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make, please step to the podium and state your name and address clearly for the record, and you will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. I can't see. Is there anybody coming up?
Yes, there is. There's a
Right
gentleman at the podium.
Okay.
My name is Joe Lucia, live on Woolley Avenue in Long Branch, born in Long Branch. This has been going on for 3 years. I've been calling the police about the people on Woolley Avenue flying down the road. It's a 25-mile-an-hour road. I'm just doing it for the safety of the kids These people do not go 25, they go 40, they go 45. I've been living there for about 30 years now, so I think I know what I'm talking about. They gave me some guy, they said talk to this traffic guy, I forgot his name. I talked to him, he sent me to another guy, I called him, nobody answered. Nobody did nothing. There's only one sign there, you have to be a giraffe to see it. It's about 15 feet high, it says 25 miles an hour. You'd think they would at least put a sign there with blinkers around it. They do that in other places. You can do it in solar energy, very easy. But it's, you know, it's ridiculous. The speeds they go down there. When I first bought that house, I thought, oh, great, I can retire here. The school didn't have that open. As soon as they opened that, it was like the Autobahn. I almost got killed one day. I put my right blinker on and I'm swerving around to miss the garbage cans. This guy went right by me on the right-hand side. Thank God I looked to my right or I would have been T-boned. So I'm just telling you about some of the things they do. They give me the finger. One guy threw a bottle at me because I tell him to please slow down. I mean, it's ridiculous. You just don't. I call up the police. They're rude. A lot of them are rude. A couple times they hang up on me. I called today. I said, can you please send somebody down here? They're going down the road again fast. I go out there and I look around. Not one police car. Not one police. Not the first time that I did that either. I mean, it's like beating a dead horse, you know. I guess if you don't want safety on a road, if you don't care about people, it's been duly noted. So if anything happens, it's on you. So,
Mr. Lucia, excuse me. I know that you and I have talked several times over the years. I know that Mr. Saldita, Director Saldita,
I called him.
He did get in touch with you, correct?
Once we talked.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll mention it to him again. I will tell you this. I know that I remember when you first contacted me, we did put the digital speeding sign down there, which we can do again for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but usually goes out after a week and then nobody fixes it and then it goes. I've seen that before down there.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of them and they put them there for 2 weeks. It's on a rotation basis because they put it throughout the city. But if I'm not mistaken, in addition to, you know, obviously letting vehicles know what the speed they're going, it also tracks the speed and records it. And if I'm not mistaken, but we'll double check, that the majority of the people were going, you know, within the speed limit. This was what was reported to me. And they also reported that it seemed, you know, it's a very short block, as you know.
Oh, I know.
No, I understand. Let me just finish, and then I hear you because, you know, again.
No, you're a nice guy. I've been talking to you, but you just don't get anything done. I mean, you have to get something done. Do something. I mean, somebody's going to get killed down that road one day. There's no doubt about it. These people don't care about the speed at all. They're doing 40. They're not doing 25. I know. I'm 71 years old. I know what 25 miles an hour is. I'm not that stupid.
You know, look, I don't read the data, but again, we'll put it there again. We'll add it to the list, Mr. Lucia, and then I'll certainly ask everybody to take another look at it to see what we can do. Maybe we could put a police officer down there at the.
Why don't you excuse me, I hate to interrupt you, but why don't you send one with a radar gun? Every policeman you sent down there so far, they said we only have 3 radar guns in the whole town. I go, you got to be kidding me. With all the you pay for parking and this and that, I remember Mr. Schneider, the old mayor, said they made almost $1 million in Asbury on parking, and you're telling me they only have 3 radar detectors in Long Branch? I mean, that's amazing. What can they do if they see a car going over 25 miles an hour? West Long Branch is a perfect place. To tell you the truth, I wish I still lived there. When they went down Parker Road, you go 5 miles an hour over that 25 mile an hour, you're getting a ticket because it happened to my aunt. They don't take that. And you know, also, there was a guy that I knew who was a neighbor of mine down here. This guy kept on flying around. He told the police waited for that guy and they caught him the next night, the West Long Branch police. I know you're going to say, yeah, you got a big city, you got more crime, this and that, but I'm just saying at least they did their duty and they caught the person. These people are flying down there. I mean, it's ridiculous. I got to watch out for my wife when she leaves down there. I got to go out on the road and look around. And then you took the sign off there. There was no parking at one time. Now there's parking. The lady across the street got 4 sons. They got all 4 cars. Then you got the mother's car, the father's car. They don't want to park in the driveway. They want to park
5
in the
minutes.
road. You know? So that's even worse then. Now you got less space when they're flying down the road.
Okay. Mr. Lucia, I'll have your number. Mr. Jackson, could you relay the information to Mr. Saldita and we can take another look down there?
Sure, no problem at all.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr.
I think
Lucia.
it's like beating a dead horse, but I hope you do something.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak tonight?
How you doing? Donald McPherson, Long Branch, New Jersey, 401 West Columbus Place. Good evening, John and council. I didn't mean to bring up or bring up about what he's saying about anything, but did anybody check in, John, with the 2 stop signs on Conover and John Street?
Donald, I know that I gave the information to Mr. Jackson, and I know that Stan spoke to you about the DPW issue.
Right.
George, was there any information on that? I know you took it down.
Yes, I passed it along to Lieutenant Shirley the day after the meeting.
Okay, so anything go with that? I mean, is it a process about putting up stop signs? I mean, do you have them in stock, or they have to be ordered, discussed to see if they need to be put up, or?
And they have to be included in an ordinance. We just can't randomly put stop signs up.
Yeah, well, okay.
So it requires, so the answer to your question is that there's a state manual as to what streets can have or not have stop signs. Assuming it fits all of those criteria, we then would have to adopt an ordinance to put the stop sign in a certain place, and then we can put the stop sign up. So that's
All
the
right, yeah.
process.
Well, like I said, I almost had 3 accidents there because people leaving to get out of that school when they get done working, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, something like he says, that gentleman, you know, it's just waiting to happen. As far as the creeks went, on Saturday, me and my buddy did a lot of cleaning out of there. I have pictures here and things I did, and we worked from 6 o'clock in the morning till 12 in the rain, because we were all in rain gear. Cut some trees down, opened it up. Actually, the fast-moving water, John, helped create the water movement to get it cleaner. And so areas like I cleaned right off where you put the new drainage crates across the street from City Hall. I went in there on Mother's Day myself. I have the pictures. I cleaned from the dam that goes down to almost Walburton, 1,000 feet. I took out crazy stuff like this is a bottle here, if you can see it. This is a plastic bottle that's buried under the sand. It's been there so long, you can just roll it up like that. And same thing with everything on the bottom of the creek was flat as an iron. You can just roll it up. This is a beer can, all right? As far as garbage bags, let me explain something about that. When you rake the garbage, you can have a clean bottom. And if you rake it, underneath the sand, 2 inches is trash bags. So when the trash bags go down the creek, if they're a strong bag, they hold water. So when they hold water, they get hung up, and that water stays in the bag for 5 to 10 to 15 years. So when you rake them and you grab that bag under the sand and pull it up, it's mucky mud, smelly, dirty water, because it's been in the bag for 15 years. You have no idea how many bags I took out. And the area is right out here. If you go across the street, I'll show you. It's crystal clear now. You can see John a foot down. I did bring out a lot of stuff on Sunday, Mother's Day, and I have a bunch of takeout later. So it's clean from here down 1,000 feet. Then it's very clogged up again, and then it's clear again where Columbus Place is, and then beyond that, it's clogged big time down towards the drop-off where the gas main runs. I'm suggesting I went to talk to the guy, John, today, but he wasn't there to answer the door at that building that used to be the Bell Telephone Company across the street from the trucking company. They have a dealership or something there. You can get in there if they let you through the gate and get the Bobcat or the backhoe in there, because it's a really big mess. I mean, I'm talking big time clog. And there's the pictures here. I'll show you the next time. But I think we did a good process there, cleaning it, and the creek's moving well, and I can't just let it hang the way it is. I'm gonna try to do some more Saturday, and we're gonna keep it rolling until we get that creek open and cleaned up right. And other than that, I hope you all had a good Mother's Day. I had a great day by myself cleaning that creek. I really did. I enjoyed it. So we're going to keep on rolling, get it going, and see what happens. Anyway, have a great evening, and I'll be there. I went to talk to Stan today, but he had a meeting, and so I didn't want to bother him this morning. And the city was very nice. They gave me tools and everything I needed to do the job, but, you know, nobody's going to show up in the rain pouring like it was on Saturday. But we still got a lot done. I cut some trees down. Me and my friend Andy Klein, Jack Klein's son that used to have Jack's gasoline station, Andy Klein, his father, his son helped me. So it was me and Andy, and Sunday I did it myself. But anyway, we're going to get the creek cleaned up so that water flows good, all right?
Thank you, Don.
10-4 on that, baby. All right, have a good night.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. McPherson.
Mayor, if I might follow up on Mr. Lucia's trip to the podium, I received a text from Lieutenant Shirley of the Police Department. He will put our signboard up tomorrow for 2 weeks on Woolley to track the speed. And just to be clear, it does record speeds of vehicles. And if Mr. Woolley's concerned about it being out of service, they put it in stealth mode so that the flashing doesn't change the speeds that motorists will travel, so we can get a true and accurate reading on just how fast cars are going. So we'll get a historical perspective on the number of vehicles that go through and what their speeds are to see just how truly bad the problem is there, and then we can react accordingly. So
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
okay.
Is there anyone else?
Yes, there's, Mr. Lepore is walking to the podium.
Request 1-minute notification, Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. I'd like to make a note at the beginning. It's quite hypocritical of this council and mayor. When you're inconvenienced, you can have an electronic meeting, but when the public is inconvenienced, they can't call in. That's the flaw with this government, and it's clear tonight, right now. Miss Anita Vogt, a couple of questions for you tonight. As a public official, Ms. Anita Vogt, can you identify your position at Brookdale College?
She's not on the meeting. She's absent tonight.
Ms. Anita Vogt is absent tonight. Why couldn't she call in?
Why, she could if she was
She
capable of
wanted
doing
to,
it.
but she didn't.
Well, it's not a question of whether she wanted to or not. I don't know the reason why. I guess the next meeting you can ask her why she wasn't here tonight.
No, she had the opportunity to be here, and she chose not to by electronic.
Okay.
Then we're going to run it, Ms. Anita Vogt. As a public employee of Brookdale College, which you are, your employment with Brookdale College is compensatory. Your position at Brookdale College is titled Associate Vice President of Strategic Partnership. Since you're not here tonight, Ms. Vogt, the duties of Vice President of Strategic Partnership at Brookdale: you initiate programs and coordinate initiatives for Brookdale College, many of which are in Long Branch, partnering with Long Branch. Ms. Vogt, your husband, Dennis Sherman, one of the heads of the Long Branch Condo Coalition and Save Ocean Avenue, is also employed as a public employee at Brookdale College, compensatory employment. Ms. Vogt, your husband's position is that of criminal justice adjunct instructor. Ms. Vogt, as Vice President of Strategic Partnerships, since you're not here tonight to explain the programs you intended to implement for Long Branch with Brookdale College, we know what they were. On Ordinance 219, moved by you, Ms. Anita Vogt, on March 13, 2019, you voted in the affirmative with your fellow council members 5-0. Ordinance 219 read as follows, quote, "An ordinance of the City of Long Branch, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, approving the application and the execution of financial agreements with Long Branch Partners, Urban Renewal Association Phase 1 LLC, and Long Branch Partners, Urban Renewal Association Phase 2 LLC, in connection with the Oceanfront Broadway redevelopment area," end quote. This is the Lower Broadway project. Ms. Anita Vogt, this is the 30-year tax abatement for the developer that you voted for. Ms. Anita Vogt, the proximity of Brookdale College to this project on Broadway is in the immediate area. You, specifically Ms. Vogt, gained the benefit as strategic partnership programs involved with Long Branch. When voting for Ordinance 219, the 30-year developer tax abatement, Ms. Vogt, you should have ascertained any possibility of a conflict of interest. Ms. Vogt, as a paid member of the Department of Brookdale College, initiating programs for strategic partnerships, not only were you compensated, but your husband, Dennis Sherman, was compensated. Your neglect of considering the conflict of interest and deriving such benefits and voting for 219 is shameful. The fact that the deal between the Broadway property owner and the signed developer fell apart, resulting in rescinding the ordinance, doesn't get you off the hook, Anita Vogt. You effectuated a conflict of interest on the record. Be assured, Ms. Vogt, that charges against public officials in office are more severe than those out of office when such acts are deemed illegal. Again, Anita Vogt, your resignation is expected as soon as possible. Anita Vogt, keep in mind, you danced with the piper, and now you're going to pay the price. And Anita Vogt, if you think you're in for an easy ride for the next 4 years with the rest of these council members and the mayor, think again. The election results yesterday show clearly at 6.7% of the vote, the Pallone team has no mandate to run this city. No mandate whatsoever. Junk government. It continues. Junk government.
Thank you, Mr. Lepore.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Marsha Brown. I live at 111 Joline Avenue. I've been in the city of Long Branch for 22 years. And I wanted to, I've been wanting to come to an in-person meeting for a while, so I'm glad that we finally had the opportunity to be here. But I've been watching online, and there are a number of things that I wanted to bring up. First, let me just, Councilwoman Vogt's always saying, look, you know, we should try to be civil when we're at these meetings. I agree, even though we may agree to disagree. But I just want to initially just bring up some praise, some things that I think are really good, because it's troubling when someone comes before the city council and says that they wish they lived in another town because they don't believe that their issues are being addressed. So, you know, if I were a city council member, I certainly would find that troubling. But just in terms of some praise, I do want to give Christine Sullivan some praise for the way that she is running the Art and Cultural Center. It is really great. It's coming up with some great programs, being very thoughtful and creative. And I think that there's an opportunity to bring the city together through the center. The populations and neighborhoods that don't normally come together. There's an opportunity, I think, to bring people together to communicate in ways that they don't normally do. Because you know, in my 22 years here, I've noticed a kind of a segregationist, you know, there is an attitude or, you know, a situation where people conjugate like people, which in some ways is normal, but in other ways, being the kind of city we are, devoted to diversity, we should want to create opportunities for people to really communicate outside of their particular boxes. So I do want to praise Christine for that. I also want to acknowledge the problem-solving skills of some of your team, especially those that are in the tax assessor's office, the public works, and then also in the office of the mayor. I have had nothing but good feelings about the way that we've been able to get information from those offices, and the way that they communicate, the professionalism that they exhibit, is to be noted. And so I congratulate you all for that. Now, so that's the praise portion. I do want to acknowledge my support of the comment that was raised, I think 2 meetings ago, and I can't remember her name, but she was talking about the Senior Citizen Center and the fact that we don't have online exercises anymore. And she mentioned that she didn't understand why we didn't. She also talked about the fact that certain seniors are required or asked to pay to support the programs there. I just wanted to support her notion that we should have online opportunities, and that seniors who shouldn't go to the center thinking, oh, I can't participate if I don't have the money to pay. I support that notion that she brought before you guys, so I don't know where that stands. Also, after the election, and it seems like you guys will be in again, given that there's no competition, I would love to see the council talk about certain planning priorities at these meetings. Example, the growth of Long Branch just seems enormous. I know I'm not the only one that's brought that up, but I know, living on Joe Line, that over the last 20 years, traffic on that street has just become incredible. So I would like for the council to tell the citizens things like, for example, what is the ratio of development to open space? And what kind of thinking have you all been doing about that? What about the grid capacity, the electrical grid capacity, given the increased population in the city? Are there issues with respect to that? Beach traffic, all those kinds of things that really deal with the planning of a town. I used to say to people that when I came here 22 years ago, this was like a sleepy, beautiful town, Now it's still beautiful, but, people are coming in, and what are we thinking about how that population increase changes the nature of what Long Branch is and what it means to people, both the people who've been here a long time, the people who are new, all of that, as you all discussed this in your executive sessions, and, just as leaders for the town, it's your vision that really is dictating what happens in this town. What does that mean, and can you share that with us? And then finally, thank you for allowing me to serve on the Cable Commission for the last 2 years. I'm in my 2nd year. You got some really talented people on there. Jessica is doing an amazing job as chair. And we're trying, Council President Vogt is the council representative there. And we are trying to do some different things to make the channel accessible to more and more people in Long Branch, and to work with Comcast, especially now that they're in the time where they are to be reviewed before they have automatic renewal of their contract. This is an opportunity for us to work on ways to upgrade programming.
5 minutes.
To make it more accessible, more exciting. So I hope to hear about those issues as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Council
Anything
President,
else,
it
Mr.
doesn't
Mr.
appear to be anybody else coming to the podium. Oh, sorry, there's one more person. I apologize.
Yeah, I didn't know we had another person could come up. I was waiting for my turn. Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Amelia Stedman. I'm at 399 Prospect. I would like to come up mainly as well to second what the lady before me just said in regards of being a local resident, born and raised in Long Branch, and seeing how this town has become a bit more busy, even on my own street, as the man mentioned before, like on Willie Ave, how the traffic is. It could be on my street as well, not too far from the school. So there's not really traffic, but there is times like on that side closer to school, but the way people do fly down Prospect, sometimes I'm like, interesting. This is a residential area and there's a little elementary school that is not far. So that case of, I'm not sure whether, I'm not saying to put a speedometer, but the case of people do flying down the streets, this happens, but specifically near schools, it is a concern. As she was saying about how the town, like, this is a beach town, and one thing about, like, living by the beach is going to the beach. As a local, I personally have a hard time going to the beach during, like, even if it's, like, high season, and paying, like, full price for parking and such, because I live here all year round. I go to the beach all year round, and now when it's summertime and I'm coming to enjoy, like, my beach, I feel like I'm a bit more like an outsider, like everyone else. So it's a bit strange. I don't know in the case of like whether there's little discount cards where different stores where they have so you could get like some sort of benefit of being a local resident. I don't know if that's going to change. If for local residents at like going to the beach and going to the Long Branch pools or other centers where they would have like a Long Branch card so they could say, hey, I'm a resident here. Can I get some sort of discount? That would be great. I think a lot of people would really appreciate it, and it would just make also like more people who live here be part of the town, because a lot of people say that they live in Long Branch, but they don't go to Long Branch Beach. They go to other different beaches. So it would probably just make people be more part of our area if they were actually like having these opportunities to benefit from our town. The last thing I'd want to mention is just because of like environmental concerns. There is like an ordinance for people not to be putting their like leaves that they rake up close to drains and such, but it still does happen. I don't know what town I was driving through. I don't want to name one specifically, so then we could think like, oh, another town is better, because that's not the case of what I'm saying. But was driving through another town, and I seen that they had like these sort of bags where people could be putting in the leaves that they collected and such, like in these. I don't know if it was a plastic bag or whatever the bag was. And so this way they don't like spread all over the street. It's easier to pick up and something like that. It's something to look into. I'll also look into it on my own just because I'm also mentioning it. I did a little bit of research, but to extend it a bit further to see hopefully if we could look and see if this is something that would be good for our town. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? If not, I need a motion to close the public participation portion of this meeting. Now I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will now ask Madam Clerk if there are any changes to the list of resolutions.
Resolution 125-22, which authorizes 2022 emergency temporary appropriations, was added to the list of consent agenda.
Okay, thank you. We can now take the list of resolutions as a consent agenda. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dangler?
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
And Dr. Vogt is absent.
There are no applications, and so we will continue on to the miscellaneous business of the order. And I would ask Councilman Dangler to start off, please.
The only thing I have for tonight is to thank the residents for their support regarding the election. It wasn't a high turnout, but it was still an election, and I do thank you. And also, as the numbers fluctuate in regards to COVID, that we still continue to try and be as safe as possible. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, Councilman Dangler. Councilman Vieira?
Yes, good evening. I also want to thank everybody for the support. I also want to thank everybody that showed up today after the council meeting. We apologize we're not there. And I also want to thank Jack for a great job for reading that resolution, and Don and Andy for cleaning our creeks. Great job. And thanks for everything. Good night.
Thank you very much, Councilman Vieira. Councilwoman Wittes?
Hi, good evening. I too would like to say to Jack, you did a great job this evening, and we look forward to having the students read every month, so it's really a great thing. The other thing is, we have a great community, and we want to thank all of you for all of your support, not only during election time, but throughout the years. It means a lot, and it's an honor for us to serve you. And I'd like to also thank the people that commented tonight and for their help in cleaning the creeks and, and their concerns about the leaves and the gutters. And those are things that, we need to look at. And with that, I wish everyone, I hope everyone stays well. And I look forward to seeing you in person in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wittes. Mayor Pallone?
Thank you, Council President. Great job, Jack. Don, thanks for your help. Marcia, Amelia, good ideas. Mr. Lucia, thank you as well. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I also just want to add that on behalf of myself and the City Council, I want to thank the people of Long Branch for placing your trust in us and for the opportunity to serve you for another term. We've worked hard these past 4 years to improve all the neighborhoods throughout our city, and we want to continue to do so. Long Branch, as it's been mentioned, is an incredibly diverse community, and we want to continue to try to bring people together. We always want to listen, be responsive, and to be inclusive. So in the next couple of years, we're looking forward to a brand new senior center, a completely renovated library, a new municipal court, and health and technology center at the Monmouth Medical Campus. And we'll continue to beautify different parts of the city with new parks and a robust road program. We've been very fortunate that we've been awarded millions of dollars in state and federal grants and obtained major donations of land and buildings from private resources to move forward with these projects. I mentioned the court technology center. Marcia mentioned the Arts Center, a donation from the Bank of America. We'll continue to apply and pursue even more grant opportunities in the future. We're very proud of our new municipal pool, the Arts and Cultural Center, as I've mentioned. Our administration will continue to expand programs such as fun days that are specifically for our youth to enjoy and that are free for all families in all different neighborhoods throughout the city. We still have a lot more work to do, and as Councilwoman Witt has said, it really is a true honor to serve our residents in the city of Long Branch. And on behalf of myself, the council, and all of us in the administration, I want to thank you again for your support.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pallone. Tonight, I just have a couple of things to say, and I'm delighted to have been reelected, but most of all, we have a great team led by our mayor, and the citizens of Long Branch have put their confidence back in us, and they expect us to produce. I think we have produced over the last 4 years, and we have an awful lot to show for it. And to all the citizens of Long Branch who voted for our team, thank you very much. We appreciate your support. Next, I don't want to forget, it is Nurses Week, and I'd like to thank all the nurses, regardless of what kind of a nurse you are, for the hard work that you do. And it's not an easy job, I know that. But I would like to say thank you to everybody for coming tonight, for your comments. And I know it was a little different with the council in one place and other people in the city hall, but we're getting there. And we have to take care of the people who have COVID. So please take care of yourself, and God bless you all. And with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Anybody opposed? I don't think so. So, good night, everybody.
Good
Have a
night.
nice week.
Thank